Hello, welcome to today's video. Today we're doing a sketchbook tour. This is the first sketchbook tour, but also the first video I'm filming this way. So bear with me. I'm also filming without a mic because usually I use my headset. But I actually think the sound quality is better if I don't. So let's try like this. This first thing is a character design for one of the stories I want to turn into a comic one day. It's not the best design, not gonna lie. This was kind of where I started drawing again, because I feel like most kids draw in primary school or, they just draw. I feel like every kid draws, don't they? And I got back into it for fashion design. I wanted to tell my stories. I wanted to be able to do my art for my own stories, right? Doing designs for characters that'll eventually come out one day. And then came the anime phase, where I literally looked up how to draw anime in order to do, especially for this character, for his hair, his eyes, his nose, his mouth. I looked it up for everything. And the hand, both of them, if you can notice them, came from how I used to draw hands before this, which was also pretty bad. Which is fine, there's nothing wrong with learning. It's completely how that's supposed to go, For this character, I really did have a trend of hiding one hand and drawing the other. A lot of people in the art community talk about how hiding hands really doesn't help you, it doesn't help you develop, and that's completely true. And I think hating drawing the hands because it's the worst part of the drawing experience is also completely valid. So what I used to do was only draw one. That way, got the practice in, and I didn't have to look at the second attempt. This character is ugly, but that's okay. Again, a lot of it is looking up different anime hairstyles and ways to draw eyes and trying them together. I also tried colored fine liner over the top for no particular reason other than the fact I was 13 and tried to make it look cool. This one I was actually pretty happy with, I think. Maybe not. I like it a bit now. It's still quite odd though. And this is a character from my favorite series of all time. It's called Duggery Pleasant. And a friend had dared me to draw this character. His name's Fletcher Wren. This is not what his hair looks like, but at the time I couldn't quite place how to draw his hair, because his character, if you don't know, is basically just having terrible hair and being annoying, and I love him quite dearly. So I drew his shirt saying my hair is amazing, and he is correct. Just gotta say. Here I hid both hands because, look, if I'm gonna attempt, I don't know, I just don't like drawing hands. I didn't at the time anyway. I was actually really happy with this one. He had a nice, somewhat cohesive face, and I was really proud of that. His head is way too big, or his body is way too small. It kind of shrinks as it goes down, but honestly, doesn't bother me. Or it does, but that's okay. This one I was so proud of. She was my favorite original character at the time, and I gave her a cape, and I absolutely adored how it looked. I think this was also the first hairstyle I didn't look up how to draw, which you can probably tell because it's, very, very simple. But it was nice because it was the first time I really stopped looking at how to draw things and just started drawing the way I wanted to. I also remember really liking the flow of the cape. It's not too flowy to compare it to how I draw capes now, but it's, I really liked it, And I'm still quite fond of it. It's weird how you can see all the flaws in your art and can still be fond of it. Yet with this one, I see all the flaws and I hate it. That's okay though. You've got old art you hate and old art you love. It's just gonna end up that way. At this point, I wanted to start trying to learn to draw full bodies, draw feet, which I think is good. What I find really fun is the attempt to draw knees. I didn't draw the top of the legs in the clothes, so it ended up like the legs starting from the end of the shorts, which is just not right, as you can see. But that's alright. You live and you learn, and I have lived and learned. Thank goodness. This is where I start to get a better idea of how they're supposed to look. And the beginning of the walking thing, because I was so proud of how this looked. You can see, yeah. How it actually looked like she was walking. Man. Here's more anime. Pretty sure I drew this in the weird episode of Fairy Tail. Don't worry, it's not really a spoiler, it's a filler episode where all of Lucy's star signs, these spirits, like flip. Like some of them are younger, some of them are just very different. It's a very weird episode. So I drew most of it. I wanted to start doing scenes as well, where they were like telling a story, or at least being more than a person standing there, not necessarily a story. But my first attempt at that was to draw someone eating a burger, and it looks awful, and that's okay. Like, that's fine. It was an attempt. Here, I wanted to get better at face detail, because I noticed all my faces just looked wrong. And I couldn't figure out how, because I didn't realize most of it had to do with the shading, and because I was drawing such a simple face, drawing it at this size just made it look worse. That and the nose is way too small and the lips are way too low, but that's alright, you know. I do like the shading in the hair. I think that was really cute. Definitely taken from anime as well, but you know, it was an attempt. Spent ages on it. Did the same thing here, and it's probably the worst thing I've ever drawn. I really wanted an angsty character, as you do when you're 13. Moving right along. This one was alright. It's, you know, I started drawing in color. I used to hate drawing in color because I never really liked how it looked in the end. And I kind of, you know, fair enough when it turns out like this. Oh, that's mean, but it's okay. It's younger me. I'm better than that now. Same person. This, I was so proud of. His face is not the greatest, but every other part of it. This character here, I was so proud of the way I shaded like her arms, well, her arm, his arm, her face. I loved the way her eyes looked. I know they're uneven colors, that was on purpose. The way I shaded her feet, like I was just so in love with this drawing. Yeah, back when I had heterosexual original characters. Kidding, I still have like one or two, but very funny to look back at that now. Blank page, because why not? Then I wanted to start doing character posters, which, you know what, it's kind of adorable. We love that from little me. She, this is one of the characters. Basically, I was drawing, most of these characters are from 2 comics, half of them from one, and this one's from the other, and the characters on the previous page were from this story as well. This one is a mess of a story, but, you know, cute pose, a bit more dynamic than I was capable of. Well, dynamic than I was capable of than I had previously attempted. This one was a experiment with my dad. He wanted me to try drawing real items, and that was fun. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. It's pretty cool. Another character from that thing. It's not bad, you know. At this point I was just drawing. This one I still kind of really love. I really like the earthy tones. This is supposed to be a character that can call vines and stuff. These things, these little symbols are all stenciled from a little stencil sheet I had. I don't know who created it, unfortunately, but just know I didn't design that. But I really like the way the vines are shaded and the way the dress turns to brown. I really like the way that one was done. One funny thing, this I drew while watching a Bones episode. just for fun fact right there. I also really like the shading here. This ended up being really weird, but it's a cool idea. I don't mind the effect it has. I like the way that it's supposed to get darker black around them as it goes down. Pretty cool. What I hate about this drawing is the ponytail is in front of the rest of the hair, which makes no sense. So I kind of hate it, and it's not even like I added the rest of it afterwards. I just didn't know at the time that that's not how it works. That's alright. It's just, it looks so off whenever I see it. This one was another attempt at a full face. Better, I think. Around here is also, if I remember right, when I started introducing my own way of drawing eyes. I wanted to separate my style. I wanted to stop copying anime eyes. I found I couldn't be as expressive as I wanted to because I didn't know how to make them more expressive. And I wanted them to be a bit more realistic, because that whole, you know, realism is true art kind of got to me at this age, but I still loved cartoons, so it didn't last long. I actually really like the way these eyes came out. I think they're pretty cool. And then I started to implement the way I drew eyes like that into my art. So it looks a bit off because I'm still taking like facial structure and stuff from anime, but you know, it's the beginning of where my style came from. I also, again, once again, really love the gradients. So one thing I really loved. I actually kind of like this design. It's simple, but it's fun. And I might redesign this at some point. I think it's really cool. It's just also funny looking at the hands. I could not be bothered with them that day, and honestly, don't blame younger me. This one I was also really fond of. I figured out I could draw roses. So I drew a lot of roses. And it's just the same character as before, who was the earthy character. I really like the way these leaves on the pattern, can you see those? Yeah, came out, because I liked the way I did them with the colours. The feet aren't quite right, but that's alright. Most of them aren't. I was really happy with these hands at the time, especially this one with the nail on it. I didn't have very high standards back then for improvement, but that's good because, you know, you can see your improvement in everything you do. And honestly, I love that. I'm still trying to be like that nowadays. Here I tried to draw all the characters from that story. I feel like these characters could be fun to redraw someday, revisit. And at the very end, one thing I was starting to get into was expressions challenges. I thought they were really cool. I wanted to get better at expressions, so I started trying to do those. This one was a bit of a cop-out because I didn't understand what it was supposed to be. And I was going to do all of them at the time, but that didn't end up happening, which, you know, whatever. But I really loved this one so much, and honestly I still do. I still think it's really cute. Her little smile and her big eyes, it's just adorable. These are supposed to be characters I was going to turn into a story, but I kind of like abandoned it because it was boring. And honestly, I didn't know how to write these characters at the time, so I've abandoned them too. They don't really have much to them, so. But anyway, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Definitely a lot more sketchbook tours to come. I'm currently on sketchbook 9, and technically I have 2 first sketchbooks, so that should be about 10 to get through. So look forward to it. I'm not sure how often I'll post sketchbook tours because I don't want to make them last too long, but I want to make them last a bit just so it doesn't get too repetitive. And the next video will probably be another speed paint. And I'll see you next time. Bye!